This is Exercise 1000, Lifetime Physical Activity and Fitness, Week 10, Body Weight Progressions. The following series of videos are to be performed in order and according to the assignment instructions. Be sure to listen carefully to cues about body position and movement for each exercise. Make sure that you know how many seconds you are to hold the isometric exercises, how many repetitions you are to perform of the dynamic exercises, and how many repetitions you are to perform of the plyometric exercises. The first exercise in this series, the isometric exercise, is a wall sit. Start by choosing a stable surface to lean up against. Walk your feet out until your knees are directly over your heels and you have a 90-degree angle in the knee and the hip, pressing the shoulders back against the wall. You may rest your hands on your thighs, but do not press forward on the knees. You can also let your arms hang to the side or place your hands on your hips. The second exercise in this series is the standard squat. Standing with your feet hip-width apart, slowly lower down, pushing the hips back behind you as if you were sitting into a chair. You can use your arms for counterbalance. Inhaling down, exhaling up. Make sure that as you do the squat, that your knees do not bow out and that you don't lean forward. The third exercise in this series, the plyometric exercise, is a squat jump. Inhaling as you lower down, explosively jump up, landing in a standing position each time. The first exercise in this series, the isometric exercise, is a lunge. Begin by placing your knee directly over the heel of your front foot. You should have a 90-degree angle in both your knee and your hip. Your shoulders should be directly over the hip. You're going to hold this position for your allotted time and then switch and do the same exercise on the opposite side. The second exercise in this series, the dynamic exercise, is a walking lunge. Starting at one end of the room, you're going to step forward into the lunge position and then step all the way through into another lunge position, continuing back and forth until your repetitions are completed. The third exercise in this series, the plyometric exercise, is a cross-country ski. You're going to begin in the lunge position and plyometrically jump and switch legs, landing again in the lunge position. The first exercise in this series, the isometric exercise, is a full plank. Begin by placing the wrists directly underneath the shoulders and then creating a straight line from the shoulders through the hips, knees, and heels. You can modify this position if you have shoulder or wrist problems by placing the elbows directly underneath the shoulders and again creating a straight line through the shoulders, hips, knees, and heels. Another modification for this exercise is to begin in the full plank position and lower the knees down, creating an angled body position with a straight line from the shoulders, hips, and knees. The second exercise in this series is a push-up. Start from the full plank position. Using your concentric and eccentric lifting pattern, inhale as you slowly lower, exhale as you press up. Move slowly and fluidly through the movement. The third exercise in this series, the plyometric exercise, is a plyometric push-up. Again, you'll begin in the plank position, lowering down and forcefully pressing up, landing with straight arms each time. This series of bodyweight exercises is for the core. Each of them has an isometric and dynamic exercise, but no plyometric exercise because core plyometric exercises require additional equipment. Our first exercise set of isometric and dynamic will be for our obliques. The first exercise is a side lunge. Placing the wrist directly underneath the shoulder, extend the legs out into a side plank. You want to have a nice straight line running through the sternum all the way out to the legs. If you need to, you can lower your legs into a modified version, or you can place your elbow down and do the version this way. The dynamic exercise for this series is an oblique twist. Sitting up tall with your arms extended, roll back into a C position, keeping the abdominals engaged. To work the obliques, we rotate, reaching back behind us, and then to center. Inhale to rotate, exhale to center. For our back core muscles, we'll do some back extensions. The first is known as a Superman. Laying on your stomach, extend your arms out in front of you, bring your toes together and your heels apart. Inhale as you are down, exhale lifting up with only the front half of the body, lowering down on your inhale after you've held. So holding up and lowering down. The dynamic exercise for this series is what's known as a bird dog. Starting in tabletop position with your wrists underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips, flat back. Inhale in this position, exhale, lift right arm and left leg. Inhale down, exhale opposite side. Always coming back to tabletop, and as you lift, trying to keep that back nice and flat, not allowing sagging or arching of the spine. For our abdominal muscles, our isometric exercise is a boat or V-sit. Beginning with your arms behind your thighs, go ahead and rock back into this position. You can choose to stay here with your legs slightly supported, but notice I'm not grasping on tight. Or you can extend the legs up, or extend the arms out. The dynamic exercise for our abdominals is the in and out V-sit, starting in that same position. Inhale, then extend out, exhale, squeeze in. The first exercise in this series, the isometric exercise, is a low plank hold. Starting in the full plank position, lower down until you're hovering just off the ground with the elbows tucked in. If you need to modify this position, you can drop your knees as long as your hips and glutes do not stay up in the air. The second exercise in this series is the dynamic exercise, or standard dip. Using your couch or chair or other object that is of appropriate height, extend your legs out to a full position. Keep your arms extended. On the eccentric or lengthening phase of the tricep, lower down, slowly inhaling, exhaling, pressing up. Keep your movement controlled and smooth. For the plyometric exercise or plyometric dip, bring the legs in so that the knees are slightly bent, lowering slowly and then pressing up forcefully until you come up a couple of inches off of your couch, landing with straight arms.